And turn it up. We're not. We
I'm
don't live
leaving.
I'm going into my room. We don't live in an apartment, so you don't have to worry nobody calling the apartment complex on us. or the popos. You gonna turn it right on up. I walked in last night. He had the surround sound like it was just going. I was
He
like,
wanted
that's
to be there.
Yeah, he like literally, he wanted to be there. I'm like, you
All
go
right.
right on ahead.
Now we
honey.
have volume. Thank goodness.
Check, check, check. Yeah, we got audio.
Yep, right there.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
Strike three.
right? Yeah. Tell us about this La Polina that we're smoking here.
Well, La Polina, this is the 125th anniversary cigar. It came out probably 2 years ago. La Polina is obviously 125 years old, a little older than that. But La Polina, actually, when we did had our first group of pre-embargo Cubans, there were some La Polinas in there from 1930. This cigar was actually started by the family that started CBS. So they've got this obviously generational wealth from owning CBS, but just have always had this incredible desire to bring this cigar line back. It kind of dropped dead after the Depression, and then they brought the line back, and it is they just do it right. Really, really high quality tobacco. They ferment it right. They do it right. They blend it for somebody that's more of a medium. Mm-hmm. They do have some cigars. One cigar that we're going to have, it's a smaller cigar. It's called Kill Bill.
Oh.
And then they have another one called Kill Bill 2. Those will kill you.
Oh.
They are no joke.
Uh-oh.
So they've got fuller bodied cigars, but the majority of their cigars, I smoke the Blue Label, and it's a really, really nice medium profile cigar. This cigar, the 125th anniversary, it's in our vault. It's very vault worthy, and just a really nice cigar.
It's a great stick. It's real good smoke.
The first one I had was at the 8 Lounge in Vegas.
Oh, in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like their featured cigar there. How we doing, Ron?
We're good.
Good.
You sure? We ready? We walking and rolling? Okay, she said I got it.
Yep.
What do you
Okay.
think of it, Ron?
So far, so good.
So far, so good?
I like the burn on it. Look at this ash so far.
It's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. I like to feel down around the burn line. Mm-hmm. When you can hold it right there and you're not getting any real significant heat.
Yeah.
That's just a sign of construction. Very well assembled cigars. Sometimes you get a cigar that's really hot, really soft, but no, construction on this cigar is
See,
really
and you
good.
just taught me something new because I never thought to do that.
Yeah, I'm like on an Atabey, you can basically hold the ember and it
Yeah.
doesn't even feel hot. But
I mean, hell, it's an Atabey.
some cigars they'll get super soft, and a lot of times that's just a sign that the cigar is under rolled. There's not enough filler, so those pockets get actually steam backed up inside of there.
Oh, okay.
And that's what gets them soft. So then it causes you to pull harder, which then causes the cigar to tunnel, where you get that hole down the center of the cigar. It's because you're pulling too hard, but usually that's because the cigar is wet. And listen to me get all cigar nerdy. Is this show about cigars?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I didn't know I was going to get all kind of cigar
absolutely.
nerdy on this thing.
Look, you're teaching me something here too.
Perfect. But no, this cigar is very, very well constructed. Habano wrapper, just a beautiful cigar. Yeah, it's an experience cigar. It's one that you're going to this and the La Polina Goldie. Every year the Goldie is a cigar that's released in a different size. They're very limited number of boxes. They come in boxes of 10. And they're rolled in the El Titan factory, which is in Little Havana in Miami. And they had, for years, there was one lady that would roll 25,000 cigars a year, which is not a big number in the cigar world. But she'd make 25,000 cigars, and it was finished with a little fantail, like the Cohiba Vihique is. Has a little fantail. There was only one lady that could roll it. That's all she did.
Oh, wow.
And she was very ill, very ill. So she got an apprentice, and that apprentice worked under her for 2 years to learn how to roll the cigar.
Oh, yeah.
So they went 2 years without a Goldie. And then every year, 1 year it may be a Lancero, then it may be a Toro, then it may be something else. But those cigars are actually in the cabinet that we have our pre-embargo Cubans in.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They're really, really, really good. Atabey quality cigars. And everybody that follows La Polina and follows the Goldies, it's an annual release. And it's kind of like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you know about the Goldie, nobody talks about it because they don't want somebody to buy them all up.
Exactly.
They're just selfish people out there keeping it to themselves, and me being one of those.
That's okay though.
But I do have, I have a full box that I bought in like 2014. Haven't smoked any of them yet.
Oh, I bet
have no idea why I'm waiting, but they're
I
exceptional.
bet they're ready to go. I bet they're going to be phenomenal when you
2014,
do
that's
smoke
10
it.
years of extra age on them.
Yep, yeah. Your math skills are pretty impressive.
And I'm not even Asian.
I'm telling you. Yeah,
That's for you, Ryan.
yeah. So what do you? So here I am. I'm on Tales of the Lounge. This is a dream come true for a cigar line guy. And so I'm
This is a
trying
dream come true for us.
and I'm telling you, I watch you guys. I usually sitting out on my patio and I'm having a cigar,
And
I'm,
he gets
I'm
bored.
watching the couple, this couple here, just doing their thing.
Just doing what we do.
The two of the shyest people I've ever met.
I know. I am
You should.
so shy. I really am shy. I'm trying to tell you, I am really shy. Why don't y'all believe me?
Well, you know. So
Hey, no,
Tell us.
I got a question. Okay, so there is a such thing of over humidifying your sticks, right?
100%.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Okay.
So here's a quiz. Where do you think the humidity should be at in a cigar? What are we conditioned to think is proper humidification
Well,
for a cigar?
when I first got started, I kept it strictly at 72, and I panicked if it went 1 degree either direction.
Yeah.
Now, if
Too
it
wet.
stays between 68 and 72, I figure I'm okay.
Yeah, and that's
Mine's at 69. My humidor's at 69. Well, like, it's too much. Should I pull
still
back?
to me that's too wet.
Okay.
And the cigar universe always says 70 degrees, 70% humidity. We keep our humidor at 68 on the sensor, but in the cigar it's going to be about 64, something like that.
Okay.
But you hit a good point, Ron. People panic. Oh my God, it's 71. It's not 72.
Yeah.
But 72 is way too wet. And what we were talking about, where you will start to get heat and steam build up behind the ember. There's no place for it to go. The heat. There's no place for it to go. So it will take any of that humidity that's in the cigar, and it just turns it into steam.
Okay.
So there is a device. It's called the Cigar Medic, and you can put it in the foot of the cigar to measure the humidity in the cigar, and it's
Okay.
relatively accurate. But here's the one thing that I discovered. If you put that sensor in the foot of the cigar before you smoke it, if it's 70% humidity, after just 2 normal puffs, if you test it in the cap, it's at 80%.
Oh, wow.
It increases 10% in just 2 puffs. So you can imagine, once you get down here,
yeah.
you're at 85, 90% humidity.
Oh,
And
that's
what happens
way
when
too-
a
yeah.
cigar gets really wet like that is it becomes really bitter. And you want to try to avoid that.
Yeah.
So I asked Nelson Alfonso, who owns Atabey, he keeps his at 58%. So that to me that's very low, and he said he has to wet the cap before he cuts it, otherwise it'll crack. But he does it for that reason. You ultimately, if you're at, like my house humidor is 63% on the sensor, so I'm probably 60 in the cigar.
Right.
And you can usually tell because the wrapper will slide.
Yes.
This one actually slides a little bit, but which is good. But if you have something that's at 60 when you start, you're going to smoke a 70% humidity cigar,
Okay.
which is what makes sense. But
Okay.
just don't panic. People panic.
Yeah, I think they are.
The issue when you run a higher humidity the risk that you run is the potential that because it's wet,
Yeah.
that humidor, if the humidor cabinet itself gets warmer, 75, 76 degrees, if it's in a room that's not getting a lot of air conditioning,
Yeah.
then because the inside of the cabinet will replicate what's on the outside of the cabinet. So inside the cabinet, you run the risk of the cigar getting moldy. So you'll see mold
Okay.
spores start to form on
Yes.
the cigar, and so that's an issue. There is a thing called plume, and that's when the humidity and the temperature are kept at the exact same level, whether it's 65% or 70%, then it brings the sugars to the surface.
And that's okay. You can still smoke
That's
with
okay.
that. It's just when you get that mold that
You
becomes
get
a
the
problem.
mold. So mold has a tendency to be green in color,
Uh-huh.
really, really light green. But if it doesn't just easily brush off, if you have to scrub it a little bit
Uh-huh.
and it leaves a little bit of a circle, that's mold.
That's mold.
Don't smoke it. Look at the foot. Sometimes mold will form around the foot and you don't see it on the cigar. Don't smoke it.
Okay.
You're
That's a-
just throw it away. You don't want to inhale mold.
Yeah, that's some good information for us to
Yeah.
know that. For those of you out there that are holding on to them cigars and you think that it's plume and it's mold, get rid of that shit.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it for sure. How's that for some dropping some knowledge? on you
That's
guys?
what. Look, this is what it's all
Damn.
about.
This is why-
why we love industrial and love
And
you
wow,
and the family
I'm-
because
I'm so
you guys
glad
are
you're
so
here tonight.
knowledgeable about this kind of stuff. People need to know this, especially for people that are just beginning. I mean, this is good knowledge because they're thinking that they're gonna get these sticks and I'll leave them in there and they got this film over it. But it's actually mold. They really don't know that it's actually mold.
Yeah.
So this is some good knowledge.
Yep. Yep.
And it's always good, and even people who do know it, it's always good to remind them, don't smoke that shit.
Yeah, don't smoke it. What's the greatest thing that you've learned about cigars, Ron? Look at me asking the question askers.
That's right.
questions.
That's all right.
And this is going to sound funny, but for about the first 6 months that I smoked cigars, I cut the caps off. I didn't know any better.
What do you mean you cut the caps off?
I mean, when I cut what was
Oh, you cut deep.
I cut too deep, not knowing any better, and then couldn't figure out why it was unraveling. And it wasn't until I started coming here that I learned that I was cutting it too
Too
deep.
deep. Yeah.
To be honest, and all the basic stuff that I learned here that just nobody tells you.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I'm here as much as I am, and why I try my best to support you guys. And by the same token, you guys have done a lot to support Tales from the Lounge. You let us shoot here and don't charge us anything. And
Yeah, as far as you know.
as far as I know.
Yeah.
And
We have your card on file.
Yeah. Charge him.
Yeah.
It's his show.
And I've joked that, if you don't like the Tales from the Lounge show, blame Industrial Cigar Company because Brandon was instrumental in helping me get things set up and get things started. And
now look at you.
And now look at me.
You're intergalactic.
I'm intergalactic.
They might be watching this on the space shuttle.
Boring and
What's
still not
the
making
space station?
still not making any money doing it. So yeah,
Rhonda's, hold on. We're going to do the
that's it.
Space station.
Everybody quiet. Rhonda's on.
Yeah. They're eating
It's the
meals
Rhonda
out of
show. What's that
toothpaste
Tales
or
from the Lounge
something.
logo? Speaking of the Tales from the Lounge logo, I got hit up on Facebook today.
Oh yeah, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like
Somebody
this story.
had stole my logo and added it to their cigar group page.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that
Yeah, you know that feeling, yeah.
Yeah, the week that our trademark was actually finalized for industrial cigars, we just did an industrial cigar search and found out some place in Virginia was opening. They were announcing the grand opening of industrial cigars,
Yep.
and they copied our logo.
Yep.
And so we were quick to let them know that they're in a trademark violation and they might want to do that. So then they got really creative.
Oh.
They just called it the cigar store. Yeah. Well, we couldn't come up with anything else, so we just thought,
Well,
we can't
yeah,
use
there's
this.
Yeah.
there-
the
there's
cigar
a cigar
store.
lounge over
Come on,
in
you couldn't have
Kenny
been
called
you
Cigar
couldn't have done
Lounge.
better.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Best
that
cigar
was
store.
it. That was their limited creativity. So, and I was going to name this our burger the Big Mac, but apparently somebody took that. So can't do that now.
Can't do the
Thanks
Big
a lot,
Mac.
McDonald's.
Who's only had it for a million fucking years?
Yeah. We haven't sold billions yet, but looking forward to that.
Well, you're moving right along, Dave.
Yeah.
And look, them hamburgers that you sell up here are, ooh,
Those are no joke.
man, those are no joke.
Yeah, burgers. Are
That
good.
that has to be one of the best burgers I've ever
Yep.
had. I
Yep.
mean, literally ever had.
It's so
It is
good.
so good. It is so juicy. The meat is impeccable.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Food that's coming out of the kitchen is great.
It's great stuff.
And that's what's fun about ICC right now is you can sit and have a drink, you can smoke a cigar, and you can eat a meal all at the same table.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave. It feels like you're breaking the law, you know,
Yeah.
which is half the fun.
Absolutely.
Well, you missed my father this weekend. My father
I
came
did.
in. You know, he had never been in the shop, and we came in and had the Mile High Burger, and he said he had not eaten a burger that good in a long time.
I'm telling you,
got
it is.
flavor.
It's got a lot of flavor in its juice. No matter how you have them prepare it, it's
Perfect.
just perfect.
Yeah.
It is just perfect.
And we have Matt is the vice president of La Polina. He's in the back eating.
Oh, he's eating again?
Well,
What did he have?
I think he just ordered everything on the menu
Yeah.
because he's had 2 desserts, a
Yeah.
flatbread, a pizza, or a burger,
Okay.
and the Texas twist on a Cuban sandwich.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so they're just I think they're in a food coma. right
They
now.
they ought to be. They better be in that dessert coma. But
The
you know,
desserts.
that chocolate mousse cake, that first one that came out, oh my God, that's the one that I'm just like, I need that back in my life.
Yeah.
Like that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's special.
But everybody's talking about this lemon cake, so I will say I gotta try this lemon cake.
Lemon
though.
cake is the real deal.
Yeah, I gotta try the lemon cake
real
because
deal.
everybody keeps talking about this lemon cake.
It's so good. But the nice thing is we actually paired the desserts to not have things that were overly sweet because something super sweet will stay on your palate
Yeah.
and it kind of screws your cigar up. So we wanted desserts that were very light
Yeah.
but not super sweet. And now with chocolate it's okay because it's just so natural. But yeah, they're great for cleansing your palate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try this lemon cake. Probably
So
try that
let's-
tonight.
Let's quiz. What are you doing now? You're breaking this shit now?
No,
All over
no,
again?
no.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah,
Ron.
because you know he's
just
he's been on that
This
damn
dude's-
laptop like
This
flicking
dude's buying
sticks.
shit on Amazon
right.
right now. We gotta
Come
pay
on now,
attention.
pay attention here,
We
buddy.
got the guys on the International Space Station watching.
That's
No,
right.
I'm just making
I
sure.
guess-
Let's ask your viewers a question.
All right.
Is anybody watching, by the way?
Lavanda's on.
Good.
Let's see.
Is Larry Adams on?
Come
I
on,
haven't
Larry.
seen Larry yet.
We'll send out
Larry's
a search
been-
team.
Larry's been coming on, but he's coming on late. I don't.
He's an old man. He falls asleep early. But
Well, that's true.
so here's a quiz.
All right.
to your viewers. What's the best thing to cleanse your palate when you're getting ready to smoke a cigar or have a drink?
I know the answer.
I know you know the answer. Do you know the answer?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to
We-
say it, but I mean,
we
I could
learned
be
it from
wrong, but
Luciano.
Yes.
what did he say?
We learned it from Luciano.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
Well, I don't think I
Cheese.
learned that. What?
Cheese.
Cheese, really?
Cheese.
Any kind of cheese or just a certain type of cheese?
No, I mean just about any kind of cheese. The creamier cheese, the better.
Really?
A lot of people think chocolate, or they'll think
Yeah,
nuts,
like dark chocolate. Like, yeah.
things like that, but no, cheese.
Cheese?
Yeah.
Dustin
dairy in
said
it.
dark chocolate or cheese.
Okay.
He cheated on the test though.
You cheated.
Well, you know he
You
did.
cheated, Dustin.
Yeah.
You cheated.
Exactly. I'm learning a lot.
Shoot, we're learning a lot.
Yeah.
I just assumed that it was dark chocolate, like, because I've been told that like several times. Oh, you want to cleanse your palate? Eat some dark chocolate. But
Now-
cheese? Now I love cheese, so it's
That's
totally
why
game changer.
the charcuterie board.
Yes,
that we got
that was
here,
a-
that's the cheese that's on that is really
It's
good.
amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
And both. Like, you can't go wrong with either one of those boards.
My favorite
Ooh.
is that pork cheese.
Yeah, the pork cheese is really good.
That wine cheese. Yeah, is that the pork cheese?
Pork
Oh,
cheese, yeah.
yes. Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So let's talk about the expansion.
Okay,
That's absolutely beautiful.
that I'm happy about now that I was not happy about when it was taking
Oh,
14
yeah.
months to
Yes,
do a
yeah.
6-month project.
Yeah.
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 Well, you know, and that was what I was going to mention.
Mm-hmm.
You started it January, thinking 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months rolls by and took
Thanks-
14 months. Takes
thanks for
14
bringing that up.
months.
Yeah, why you have to rub it in?
Because
Like you
the
literally just
product-
rubbing it
done.
in.
It's done.
It
the
is
finished
done.
Product was
It's
worth
done.
the wait.
It's beautiful.
It was. What I'm excited about, and I'm gonna toot our horn, but Industrial Cigars was awarded the best cigar lounge in the United States.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. Great opportunity to receive that in front of our peers. But that was for the cigar lounge. There's also a cigar bar category.
Oh, really?
So now next year we get to go after both.
Oh,
Yes.
nice. And
Yeah.
you do have a fantastic bar category.
We
like
do
you
have
do.
the bar.
You do.
We curated the bar the same way that we curated the humidor, very hand selected. We leaned on the guys at Some Would Say Whiskey.
Yeah.
Those guys did a great job. The locals did a great job of helping us. That's what these guys, they live and
Yeah.
breathe this stuff.
Yes.
And,
Well, you know, and the
man, they did
interesting
great.
thing is there's a lot of stuff that you would think is common, you know, that people buy just all the time and that every bar carries that y'all just don't.
Right.
And that's because it's not.
This is not just any kind of bar. This is
Yeah,
not,
it's just
and
not-
this is not your average day bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, this is not a sports lounge.
No.
Where you go in a sports lounge, you're gonna find all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're-
here, you're gonna find some upscale, nice,
There's
quality,
no wild turkey.
good.
There's no
Yeah, I was
wild
gonna
turkey
say
out there.
I don't know if we have a Jack and Coke.
No, there.
I
You
don't
don't have
know
a
if we
Jack
do.
and Coke.
No.
You don't have any wild turkey. I mean, you know, everything is top shelf.
I just saw there was a Blanton's Gold up there, which is
Yes.
that was fun to see.
No, I saw a couple weeks ago that Eagle Rare that you got up there. Now you know how hard it is to get Eagle Rare. Like everybody likes it, but you got the good,
Yeah.
like the good, the
So-
old school Eagle Rare.
But here's what I'm excited about. So Friday night we're doing an Atabay event.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yep.
going to be here. Oliver is going to be in town,
Yep.
which I'm really excited about. But our friends up at Iron Root Distillery,
Yes.
Yep.
those
Yes.
guys, they have the best whiskey in the world.
I'm excited to try.
I mean,
it,
we
but
were
I've never
just the
tried it.
best cigar lounge in the country. They had the best whiskey in the world.
Wow.
Their master blender that just did their new cigar blend is going to be here, along with one of the owners of Iron Root, to talk whiskey and explain the process and everything, just like we do with cigars.
Yeah.
So that's going to be Friday night.
Yeah, I'm excited
There's going to be a
'cause-
special old fashioned that they're going to make.
I know, and I
It's
can't
gonna
wait
be-
to have that old
Unfortunately,
fashioned.
if you don't have tickets, there are no more available.
I don't know if they may
Well-
open a few up, but I saw we're close to 100.
Well,
Yeah.
I got a notice about it, and I popped in there just to see if there was tickets.
Yeah.
And it was sold out.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Well, they might
Yeah.
have to open up a couple.
They
but-
might have to, because
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Damn, this is a good cigar.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is a great cigar.
Thanks to the guys at La
Yes,
Polina
La
for
Polina. This is
the
a great
cigars.
cigar.
It's so clean. There's no residual oils, anything that's left on your palate.
It's just so, and it's so smooth. I'm getting like some creaminess to it.
Yep. There's not a lot of crazy notes that come out of the cigar, but it's just very comfortable.
It is, and I think this is a stick that I can really kind of smoke on an everyday basis for me. Now, I'm not gonna give up my crux.
Wouldn't expect you to.
Yeah, that's not gonna go nowhere, but I will put this in my rotation.
This is really, really good.
This will definitely.
And we're
go
going to
in
have
rotation.
now the blue label, the bronze label. Some of those they're the same thing. Very, very approachable cigars, and they're priced down in that $12 range. So this is kind of in that $25 range or
But
something.
it's good. I mean,
It's really good.
It's really good. It's very well. It's priced right. It's a great stick.
And now let me see the end of your cigar. How do you smoke your cigar? Let me see how you smoke your cigar.
Now you've watched me smoke my cigar.
I've seen you smoke some cigars, but I'm actually going to pay attention.
Okay, you're gonna pay attention. Okay, let's pay attention.
Let's see how you do this. Okay, you do it right. Okay, you do it right. The thing that I look at is how wet does the cap get?
Yeah.
You want that to get wet. That means that the tobacco in that cigar is not drying your palate out.
Mm-hmm.
It's causing you to salivate, and that's what smooths the cigar out. Versus having a cigar, there's a lot of tobaccos, particularly in Dominican, that will dry your palate out. Or there's a lot of tobaccos in Nicaragua that will put a lot of oily residue on your palate, and it sticks around and makes it really full bodied and strong and sometimes bitter. But this is just making me salivate, and that's good.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Ooh. Yeah, this a say hello stick. I could do some things with your stick. I could really do some things with you.
Do you talk to your cigars a lot?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
Well, they're gonna treat you this nice.
Because they talk to me, and so I talk back to them.
Good.
Look, they treat me right. I treat them right.
That's it.
All you gotta do is treat me right. If you start off messing with me in the beginning, me and the stick gonna have some problems.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come to Jesus meeting, I need you to get together, stick.
Yeah.
But
otherwise, it goes in the purple ashtray.
That's right, the
Yeah.
purple ashtray. I was excited to see that purple ashtray right there.
So you've been open going on 7 or 8 years.
This will be our 7th year in September.
Okay.
That
What
side
is-
has been open for about 100 days.
Yeah.
What is your most favorite thing in the past 7 years that's happened here?
The people.
People.
The people that we've met, and I've said it 100 times,
Yeah.
I'll say it again. We did a lot of planning. We spent the better part of 5 years planning this business. Never did we think we would meet the people that we've met and have become friends with,
Right.
and have become family with, and have relationships with. And it's because this culture here is nurtured, but this isn't cliquey. This isn't, when somebody walks in, I've walked in lounges before where I'm getting eyeballed all the way back to the humidor, and then as I'm walking out, I'm like, they're all looking at me like,
And haven't said a
you
word.
parked in my goddamn parking space.
Exactly.
You know, they got that look.
Yep.
And it's like you've entered their zone and they just don't want you there.
They don't want you there.
But here
This is
everybody is, you're only a stranger once.
That's it. That's
And
it.
then at that point, I recruited you.
You did.
I mean, I saw you on Facebook and you were down at some other place. I won't say where it was at, but
Well, hey, I didn't know any better.
didn't know any. But not everybody's perfect yet.
Yeah, you know. Look.
But man, I was just like, you need to come up here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was
did,
like, I did.
And you were home.
I was home. Like when you come in here, even if you have never been in here and your first visit when you walk through those doors is such a pleasant experience. Before you even hit the humidor, it's such a pleasant experience. You can't help but to call this your home.
Yeah.
Like literally, you walk through the door and you have not touched anything else and moved anywhere else in this lounge, but through that front door and stood right there at that register, and you get such a pleasant experience.
Yep.
I mean, you got to be crazy not to have that, not to call this your home. It's such a great experience here. And what I like about it is everybody is just so knowledgeable. And if they don't know, they're going to make sure that they're going to ask and find out and tell you. Because they don't want you to have the wrong information.
No. There are so many myths.
Yes.
In the cigar space. There are so many, just because somebody smoked a cigar for 10 years doesn't mean they really know anything.
Exactly.
And, they've read magazines, they've done all this stuff, but you really have to understand how a cigar is put together, what the different regions of the world, how that impacts the flavor, but more importantly, have it explained to you in a way so that you're not being treated like an idiot because you don't know.
Because you don't know.
You just want to learn.
That's it.
And, for us, it's all about the journey.
That's it.
It's where are you at in the journey, and I always liken it to I could just envision this one ladder that goes up, and everybody in this industry just walks around it until they finally get what got me on that ladder
Right.
to start climbing and doing that cigar experience. And I've watched Ron do it, I've watched you do it, and it's an experience. It's when you have that cigar that you go, oh my God, there's something different.
There's something different about it. Let me take you back like a couple years ago.
Huh?
Remember when I was, when I went, no, I didn't go. My friends went on a cruise and they brought me back those damn Cuban cigars, and I was like, what are these?
Yep.
And you're like, bring these up here? Now that is some knowledge, because
Yep.
people think that when you go on a cruise and you get off on the cruise ship and you go to these islands and stuff, that you get these Cuban cigars because they say that they're Cuban and they're in a glass box. Like, I'm still new. I'm a newbie to it at this point. Like, I didn't know what I had.
You just got a great deal because you just paid $60.
Right. And the thing about it is, I didn't even pay for it. They brought it back to me. And so I was just like, okay. And they're like, no, these are not, bring them up here.
No.
Like that, like the knowledge that you taught us and how to spot a Cuban, a real Cuban, was so great. Look at that.
That's an ash. You got over
Look
an
at
inch of
that.
ash, and that thing's not going anywhere. Just
Look
incredible.
at that.
Yeah, and it's cruise season. A lot of people are going on vacation,
Yep.
and they're going to Mexico, and they're going to these places,
Yep.
and they're getting hit up on the beach.
On the beach, yeah.
100% of those cigars are as fake as a Kardashian. I'm telling you right
Yep.
now, they are.
Oh, I know.
They are fakes, and there are ways to spot those fakes. But here's the simple fact of the matter. Cuban cigars, real Cuban cigars, are in incredible demand right now.
Yeah.
They make 111 million cigars a year. They could sell 211 million cigars a year just because they're Cubans.
Yep.
And so now Cuba actually grows enough tobacco to make about 80 million cigars. So they're getting tobacco from Mexico and other countries. They're claiming it's Cuban, and they're putting it in the cigars because they just don't have enough tobacco.
Right.
But they had a hailstorm. They had a significant fire.
Oh,
They've had crops not come in because Venezuela subsidized them. Russia used to in 2012 and before, but then they stopped. Venezuela came in. They have no money, so they don't have pesticides and all those things. So the fields were depleted, so no wrapper crops are coming in.
Yeah.
So the solution that Cuba had was, let's triple the price. So right now, just a regular Robusto Cohiba is $66 retail.
Wow.
$66. And they're selling every one they can get their hands on. So if you're on a beach and somebody says, I'll sell you 5-pack of cigars for $60, they're not real.
They're not,
because nobody's going to give them away.
Right.
And if it's a $66 cigar, it costs the retailer $33.
Yeah.
So there's no way they're going to sell you a cigar for $5. They're not.
No.
But that cigar, sometimes it's worth buying it if you can buy that 5-pack that has the glass top on it. Cuban cigars don't have glass tops.
Yeah, they don't.
So, but if you get one, it's kind of fun to cut one open and just see
what's in there.
Literal trash.
That's in there.
We've pulled out screws. We've pulled out the twist tie like on a Wonder Bread deal. We've pulled staples. We pulled all kinds of stuff out of this. It is literally what is swept up. They sell it to these guys. Most of them are actually made in Mexico, and they just they have a bad copy of the label.
Yeah.
They stick it on the cigar.
Yep.
They sell it for whatever.
So what's funny is, like last year around this time, we went on a family cruise. So we were on the beach, and the guy was coming around selling cigars. So my husband says, do you want to get some cigars? And I said, absolutely not. He's like, what? I said, because these are not real. They're fake. They're not good. I got my own stuff on the boat. When I get up there, when we get back to the boat, I'll go smoke. So I make my own stuff.
Yep.
And so he was like, really? Because he doesn't smoke, so he doesn't know. So he tells the guy in Spanish, my wife says she doesn't want that because your stuff is fake.
Perfect.
And so I said to him, what'd you say to him? He said, I told him my wife said that she don't want that because it's fake. I said, you did right, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
And he did tell me, he said, and don't come back.
Yeah, we were stopped at a port on this cruise that we went on, and I felt like it was a public service after I went in and saw that everything was fake. And I told the guy, I said, look, he came over and he tried to sell me cigars. I go, look, these are fake.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. He's trying to explain to me why they're not fake. I'm showing him why they are. So I said, look, I'm not going to buy any of this stuff. It's all fake cigars. So then I stood out front, and as people were walking in, I'm like going,
Yeah,
and I felt that it was my public service. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't go in there. They're not real.
Yeah.
They're like, really? How do you know? I know. They're not real. Don't do it. There was one box that was, they had these cigars that were too long to put in they were real Cuban boxes, but the fake cigars were too long, so they cut the ends off of both of them so that they would fit inside the box. It was terrible. But yeah, save the money. It is.
Yeah, don't spend that money on that.
There are what are called Habanos SA retailers that are authorized Habanos dealers. Habanos is the cartel that runs all Cuban cigars, and those cigars, the majority of the time, are real. But even people think they're safe at duty free. The cigars at duty free are also fake. So just buyer beware. Don't do it. Now you could say, but it's Cuban scraps.
Right.
So the Cuban tobacco that's in it is scraps, but that's not always the case either.
No.
What was interesting, and you guys probably saw it when you went to Cuba, was it was just as easy to get fake Cubans in Cuba than it was anything else.
Well, if you'll remember, I guess it was one of the first times Nelson was here and did the Cigar 101. We got talking about that. He said, you got to remember that there's actually 3 types of Cubans. There's real Cubans that are by the government. Then there are black market Cubans, because the rollers get so many a day they get to take home, and those are actually real Cubans, but they're unauthorized by the Cuban government.
Right.
Then you have the fakes, which are just scraps, and they may even be $2 cigars that they've taken the bands off and replaced them with Cuban cigars.
Here's the shocking thing is to make a fake Cuban cigar, even with the printing of a label, that cigar costs them about $0.25.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they got $1.50 plus they got this box. They maybe have $4 or $5 in the whole thing, and they're selling it for $60, $70.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Richard said this is the best lounge with the best bar and the best kitchen.
I like Richard.
You right, Richard. You damn right.
Richard's right.
It is. It is. And we're having a good week, so we hope that you're having a good week as well.
What's one of the greatest things that you learned about cigars?
It's
still a cigar show, right?
Yeah,
we talk about cigars.
Well, I would definitely say, just to piggyback on Ron's point, like when I first started smoking, I like the V cut, which you turned me on to. See, this is half the shit that I got is because of you.
Yep.
You ruined me with Atabay. That was just
my fault.
Yeah, you said you was gonna ruin me. You did. But that V cut, that Calibre V cut cutter, when I first got it, I was cutting it a little too, I was cutting it too deep.
Too deep.
So I was the cap was starting to unravel, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I kind of figured it out on my own. It's like, okay, well maybe if I cut it like a little bit, not too deep, but like a more of a shallow.
Yeah.
It won't unravel, and so I figured that out. But the best thing that I like about just being in the cigar culture and everything is like every time you come in here, you learn something new. Like the heat, the foot of it. Like I'm literally almost through with the stick, right? And I'm still touching this, and it's not even. It's cool to touch.
I'm at the burn line, and it's barely warm.
Yes, this is barely warm.
Yeah.
Like the knowledge that you get every time you talk to somebody, and even if you don't believe them, I know I could come talk to you and ask you, hey, Pops, I heard this.
Yeah.
Is this true?
Yeah. Well,
just like remember I asked you about when you first buy a box of cigars, should you put them in the freezer?
Cubans, you absolutely have to do it. Most of the 99% of the Nicaraguan, Dominican, Honduran cigars, they freeze them before they get started. And it's important. Why? Because there's beetles that
Beetle
live
eggs.
Yeah.
on the tobacco. They can't take it off.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't do anything, but they are dormant. If you get to 80%, if you get to 80% humidity and you get to 80, 85 degrees of a cigar, in other words, you leave it sit in your car for a while, and then you decide that, I'm not going to smoke it, I'm going to throw it in my humidor. Those beetles woke up. And the beetles are termites for cigars. And they will just go through and eat, and then they'll go to the next cigar and the next cigar, and they'll infiltrate your whole humidor. And it's a mess. It is
So
an
you damn
absolute
near
mess.
just gotta just get rid of the humidor.
You would have to just throw. You
Throw it away.
got to look for them. You got to look for beetle holes because they come out. They look like perfect little pin pokes, and you just throw them away.
Just throw them away.
Yeah, I mean because if you have a plastic straw and you put a hole in it, you don't get a draw.
Right.
So you don't get that nice tight draw. But
So is there a way to save the humidor itself, or should you just get rid of the whole humidor?
Humidor's okay.
It's just get rid of the damn sticks. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
But-
you can find pictures on the internet of entire humidors destroyed
Yeah.
by beetles, and you think about the money you've got invested in those things, it's just
It
nuts.
doesn't take long. I mean, you get
Yeah.
40 cigars at $10 a piece. You got $400 worth of cigars
Yeah.
sitting in there. Just toast. And if you
Yeah.
do stupid things like me and just buy cigars and sit on them for 5 years, the value of some of these cigars get a little crazy.
Yep.
You got probably one of the bigger collections, and you wouldn't want beetles running through those.
No,
God,
you
no,
do not.
No.
Because you got to think about
Yeah,
it. This
'cause
is something. It's not something. When you're buying sticks, they're not cheap. Especially when you're buying by bulk or whatever you're buying, or you just come in and buy like 5 or 10 every time you come in here. It's not cheap. This is an expensive habit to have.
Right.
And so you want to make sure that this habit that you have, you are taking care of this habit because it's expensive.
Exactly.
And it's not a bad habit, it's a great habit because the fellowship that you get with it is like amazing. But you don't want to be sitting on all of your sticks and then they're just ruined.
Right.
Like you literally have just lost $10,000 worth of sticks. And I know people buy a lot of sticks.
Yeah, I talked to a shop owner that was just telling me that he had one of his member lockers, was infested with beetles. They came alive, and they migrated to the other lockers.
Oh my God.
And so other members' lockers, all of a sudden, they're getting beetles.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's
Yeah.
That's really
That's why
bad.
we don't want outside cigars in our in our lockers, because it says right in our agreement, if you bring beetles to it, you got to replace everybody's cigars that are around you that get infected, and then it becomes even more expensive. But yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about how many lockers are here, especially right here in the Atabay Lounge, heaven forbid you get that
96.
in the Apex, that's a lot of freaking money in there. That's like millions to me. I'm just saying millions.
We have a guy that's got 16 70 count humidors in his locker. So when you have, you're talking about 800 or 900 cigars that are all Atabays and things like that. Now you're talking about $40,000 worth of cigars. In one locker.
That's one locker.
But it's like anything. You take care of your cars. You buy nice shoes or boots or things like that. You're going to take care of it.
You got to take care of it. You got to take care of it.
And look, I have cigars in the humidor in our vault, pre-embargo Cubans, that are over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Very smokable, very, very good, very unique experience. But as long as you take care of them and you humidify them properly, they're going to last forever.
Forever.
Yeah. So, some people ask, when do they expire?
No.
That was one of the fake Cuban deals, is they put an expiration date. They don't do that. That doesn't happen.
To me, as they're aging, they taste even better. They get finer.
Of
Look
course.
Ooh, like fine.
Larry finally showed up.
Larry.
I did this show just for you, Larry.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm here for Larry. Larry and Julie, just great human beings.
Okay.
Welcome, Larry.
So let's sidestep.
We can do that.
Are you excited for F1?
You know, I have not been watching it that much this year. I'm excited about next year because there's a lot of changes going on.
Yep.
With Hamilton going to Ferrari and some other stuff that's happening. But it's still, I think, from a motorsports standpoint, people are into motorsports. It's so fun to watch.
You haven't drugged me into that one yet.
It is. I grew up around motorsports.
Yeah.
My dad builds racing engines for cars. I grew up on a drag strip when I was a little kid. Dirt track. I raced motorcycles professionally for a long time, and and I've been to the Indy 500 and those, but an F1 race, particularly in person, there's nothing like it.
And you got that experience.
I have a couple times.
And
Yeah, and they're just so fast, and I've been to a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just turn left. I mean, but these are the best drivers in the world driving cars beyond what they really should be able to do.
Oh, wow.
It is, and I've been in cars on a racetrack that pulled 2 Gs in the corners, and I physically got sick.
Oh.
2 Gs.
Ooh.
F1 cars are making right and left-hand turns and stops and starts and getting 4.5 Gs. Left turn, right turn, left turn, right turn. To pull those kind of Gs and not pass out, and doing it at 160 miles an hour is it's incredible. So yeah, it's a great sport to watch, and if it's a sport that you even have any interest in, Netflix has a series called Drive to Survive.
Oh, I bet
it started about 4 or 5 years ago. It is the reason F1 is the most popular sport, because it's all behind the scenes.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of racing, but it's about the personalities that are involved and the strategy that's involved. It's unbelievable.
I'll have to check that out.
It's a great series. They kind of pick a team to hang out with, but the Netflix cameras are there all the time. Kind of piss them off because a lot of it is stuff that they probably don't want out there.
Right.
But there's a lot of drama. And when you see, they'll leave like the guys mic'd up. But when you have 2 guys on the same team and they decide to get aggressive and crash each other,
on the same team,
and you're talking about they just crashed $4 million worth of cars.
Ooh, Jesus!
And they got to load those things on an airplane and fly them to the next country. And there's a couple episodes where they leave the guys mic'd up and listening to the team manager just light them up.
Like literally, teammates will just crash into each other. Why? Because they're like competing with each other, and they
all want to win. But
right.
Then there's the money that's in F1 is astronomical.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
The F1 teams get to split half of the TV money, which is, we're talking about billions.
Right.
And when they get it. So in the point standings, the difference between like 9th place and 10th place may be $14 million to the team.
Ooh, okay.
So it's incredible. But I like attention to detail things. Yeah. And when we went to the race and we had an opportunity to be in the pit, and to watch these guys take like this clear tape and cover up the bolts. The bolt heads, so there's no air turbulence on those bolts. The attention to detail to make sure that car goes as fast as it can possibly go.
So they're covering every
bolt that has a hole in it. They cover it with this clear tape, so it's perfect.
So this clear tape is like it has to be specialized clear tape for them.
Yeah, it's like a body tape that covers up any of the seams on the car, so it doesn't disrupt the air. I mean, it's an incredible sport to watch.
Right.
And if you get into it, you're hooked. And you end up picking. It's like you're a Cowboys fan or a Mavericks fan. It's the same thing with F1. You pick a driver you like, and then they may be a good guy or whatever, and then you start rooting for them.
Yeah.
It's really it's a fun sport. You're not in it yet?
What?
You're not in it yet?
I haven't.
Are we bothering you, Ron? Just
I
let me
mean,
know.
yeah. I mean,
Nope.
you know, are you okay?
No, I'm good.
I'm
Your
surprised-
drink's almost empty. Your cigar's almost gone.
Right.
Well, I haven't.
We're just sitting here just
Just
having
got-
minding our own business.
Well, you know, but that's the beautiful thing about the show is we just come in and have a casual conversation, just like we would any other thing day. You know.
By the way, cheers to athletic beer.
That's right.
Non-alcoholic beer that tastes like real beer.
There you
know,
go.
that's the one thing
Amazing
that I
stuff.
don't
Justin.
hold against you is you don't drink.
I don't drink.
You have a lighter?
I don't drink.
Mine's empty.
But
Can you
No,
get? Can you,
I haven't had a drink. This is 40 years. Yeah, I always said that drinking gave me a parking problem. Because the last time I drank, I parked in my neighbor's backyard,
Oh shit!
and it was downhill.
Oh my
But
god!
yeah, so
You gotta.
yeah. So if you're gonna commit to something, commit.
Commit
100%.
fully. You better commit
Yeah.
fully.
When they say happy hour, I didn't quit until I was happy. Yeah. And we had this damn place back home. It was a bowling alley.
yeah.
You know, most of the best times in life are found in a bowling alley.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
This place was called the Ranch Bowl, and I'll never forget it. When I was coming up, youngster in Nebraska, you could drink at 19,
Oh wow.
which to me felt like, since I could get into a bar at 16 because I
Right.
was already 6'2", I could get into a bar at 16. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, so and Iowa was 18,
Oh wow.
so we would go across the river and drink in Iowa and then come back and finish up in Nebraska. But Ranch Bowl had nickel pitcher night.
Oh
Yeah.
heck no.
You're 50 cents in, and you don't you couldn't spell your name on a bet, and that was just
Nickel night.
nickel pitcher night. Yeah.
Oh.
Tell me that
my
wasn't a
gosh.
recipe for disaster.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of beer was it though?
Yellow.
Hey, at that age, you don't care, right?
It had a handle and foam, and it could have been cow piss as far as I knew.
But
But
look,
yeah.
it was beer and it was a nickel.
That was it. My father has a novelty beer can that he's had for decades, and it's Bear Whiz beer.
Bear Whiz.
The can's got a picture of a bear
Makes sense to me.
peeing into a river, and that's evidently where they're getting their water from. So,
Well, being from Omaha, we had a beer there that was made in Omaha. It's called Falstaff.
yep.
And Falstaff, eventually they went out of business, but I still think that it's used to accelerate your system in case you're a little backed up. Yeah. So they found another purpose for Falstaff, which was, if you,
Well, I miss
if you
your
haven't
old-
shake your pants in public yet, now's the time. Bring a 12-pack of Falstaff.
I miss your old sponsor for the Saturday at the Shop show,
Yes.
Bush Bavarian.
Bavarian. Yeah, beer that didn't exist.
Wait, isn't there a Bush out right now?
There's a Bush
is that-
Oh, there's Bush beer.
Okay.
But we, for years, back in the 70s, there was a beer called Bush Bavarian.
Oh my
And
God.
I don't know what it had to do with Bavaria, but it was Bush Bavarian. So when we started Saturday at the Shop, we would say we were sponsored by Bush Bavarian. And because that's the way they did their commercials. Tonight's show is brought to you by Bush Bavarian. And it had the positive. So we did that thinking, if that beer comes back, we're going to have a sponsor lined up.
Yep.
They never came back. That's the way it goes.
Funny.
Yeah. I'm glad you remembered that.
I bet
I
that
actually-
beer just tore your stomach up.
Oh.
Well, and the other problem I've got with the shows now is there's less physical contact. I don't think you've slapped Brandon.
I'm gonna beat the hell out of him. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there was.
And if I can find it, I had accumulated a small clip of just you guys
Just him
slapping.
slapping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I sent it to Brandon.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. We've had a lot of great shows. A lot of funny things have happened. Chris Pennington threw up on one of the shows sitting right behind us. He threw up on camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We had this like mega long cigar, and he said he could smoke it he could beat Elliot in
Elliot's
16
time.
minutes.
Yep.
He could beat it. So he's huffing and puffing on this thing and had just a nicotine overdose, and just pulled the garbage can over. He didn't even have time to get up. Just pulled it over and right on air.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we've had people show up in the middle of the show that we didn't know were going to be here. We've had it was it's crazy. It still goes. We're on 320
I know.
Yeah.
some episodes.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how many years that is. You're good at math.
Let's see.
Yeah. Break it down,
Well,
Ron.
Well, 300 at just 50 would be 6 years.
What's cool is we've done the show every Saturday.
Yes.
Yep.
And if we're at the trade show.
Yep, even when you're there.
anywhere. Yep.
You may not be on
That's
long,
not true.
but you pop
did
on and
one
make sure.
tape
Yep.
show, but you made it sound like it was live.
It's
So
show business.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
I figure if they can convince us that there's, wars happening in the stars,
Yeah.
and there's a guy that can shoot spider webs out, we can convince anybody.
That's
something's
right.
happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
I
wanna-
remember listening to War of the Worlds on an LP.
Oh,
Scared the living shit out of me. I was convinced that there were, and I put the record on, and I listened to it with Orson Welles, and I listened to it, scared me to death.
That's funny.
Yeah, Larry will remember the original War of the Worlds,
Right.
not the new one.
Yeah, because
Listening to it on the radio,
Yeah.
on the lo-fi.
On the lo-fi, yeah. That's the other thing that's fun. Is this show almost over or what?
Oh, we're about 20 minutes over.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you jacked around for the first 20 minutes.
Exactly, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And you haven't said I'm tired. I want to stop. So we're just
No,
going.
but this shit's gonna be like Garrett Reed's podcast. It's gonna last 4 days. If you're ever gonna take a 7-day vacation, watch Garrett Reed's Common Sense. But I tell him that to his face.
I know you do.
Last time I told him, I said, Titanic was only a 3-hour movie.
Like you're not saying
And I
nothing
didn't
that you
wanna
wouldn't
watch that.
that you wouldn't say to his face. So that's
Yeah.
what's so damn cool about
I
it.
never
And whatever you
want
go-
to. I never want to watch a movie where I already know what the ending is. I mean, I already know what the ending of Titanic is. The boat sinks. I mean,
Yeah. JFK, that one they kind of let that one out too. But that's the cool thing about being in a cigar lounge is inevitably what happens is somebody starts talking about old school stuff.
Yeah.
Old school. Remember this cartoon? Remember this
Okay.
show? Remember this music? Remember that?
Ty and I are habitually bad about music doing that.
Yeah. It's one of the fun things that happens around a cigar.
Yep.
They're just the old stuff seems to be the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
You know,
does.
and there's a channel. Am I dominating this show?
No.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
good. I'm just checking.
No.
The other night I'm flipping through the channels and I see this marathon, Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
There you go.
They could not put that show on TV today.
No,
No
absolutely
way.
not.
Too
Nope.
many people in their safe space.
Yes. They
Yep.
they cannot.
They
No.
would offend them so
But
bad.
Red Fox.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man, he said
he
some,
was a great
He said
comedian.
some shit, didn't he?
Oh my
Red
God.
He was
Oh my God.
Well, what's sad
He
is-
gives women a hard time about driving, and oh my God.
And what's funny is, he was actually clean in Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
If you listen to any of his old stand-up stuff,
He got
raunchy.
nasty.
He was raunchy.
He was raunch. And the Jeffersons you couldn't put on
Nope,
today.
nope,
You couldn't do
can't-
In Living
nope.
Color today.
Nope.
Oh no.
Nope. Nope. Cannot.
Yeah.
Everybody in their feelings.
Too many feelings. World's gone to hell in a handbasket. You know it?
Yeah, but luckily we have us over here at Industrial Cigar Lounge where we get along and have a good time with each other and forget about that fucking nonsense that's going on. We leave all that out there. We come in here, have a good conversation, good smoke, good drink, good food, and just enjoy ourselves.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to Friday because I wasn't coming, but now I'm coming.
Got to.
Only because, I have to work this entire weekend. So usually I'm working the entire weekend. I don't come out.
What are you going to do with all that money?
I don't know.
Pay bills.
Pay bills, fix my house,
Buy a loaf of bread. Try to buy a loaf of bread.
Put some gas in my car.
My fingers are crossed. I got a loan application out for 2 dozen eggs and a loaf of bread.
And a gallon
but that fancy bread.
Yeah, a gallon of milk.
Italian, as my dad would say, Italian bread.
Italian bread.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that my credit goes through.
Okay.
Gallon of milk.
Right?
And at Walmart, $1.49 bread. Yeah.
Shit, I just been watching the homeowners insurance, making sure that it don't keep going up and stuff. I had to switch homeowners insurance last month because it went up an extra $3,000. I said, good
And what's
God.
crazy is, and one of my dearest friends has an insurance company. He's one of our members. Does all of our insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But interestingly enough, when the rate goes up 100%, he just goes, it's going up everywhere. Well, I don't get to raise my prices 100%.
No.
But these insurance companies,
I'm telling
because
you.
there was a goddamn tornado in Nebraska, it
Let
went
me
right
tell-
through my dad's front yard,
Let me
but
tell
now
you-
I got to pay for it.
Exactly. Let me tell you this.
Don't get me started.
So I was going to go with State Farm, and I'm calling it out, State Farm. Do you know that they wouldn't insure me because there was already 4 claims in my area? So they wouldn't insure me? I said, are you kidding me? You're not going to insure me because there was people who already had that who have State Farms there's 4 claims out there already just because it's in my area. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. But I'm not going to give Allstate $6,000. Are you crazy?
That's nuts. That's the other thing is Doug was telling me that if you drive a Tesla, which I guess if you live in Frisco, you're supposed to have one because everybody's got a
My
damn
child
Tesla.
has one.
I picked up an Uber ride yesterday morning, and they had the super truck in their driveway.
They had the what?
The super truck.
Oh.
In other words, the ugliest truck ever created.
That,
The
that's the
vehicle,
ugliest thing I've
period.
ever, like literally, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
I was asking Brandon why my 4-year-old son or grandson doesn't get any royalties because he drew a truck just like that. 4 years old, drew a truck just like it, and I thought this is crazy. But here's what's nuts is these damn batteries are catching on fire.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so hot out there.
So the insurance companies, some of these homeowners insurance companies won't write a policy if you have a Tesla and you park it in the garage. If you park it in the garage, they won't insure your house because they catch on fire.
Well, I mean, I honestly, I can't blame them. I can't blame them.
No, my day job's in the oil business, so I'm anti-battery anyway, but still, that's crazy.
But you would think, when they first came out, they were having a problem with those stupid batteries just blowing up and shit and catching on fire. People driving that shit and they just catch on fire. That's when they first started coming out with them, right? When they first started making them.
Well,
It's still happening to today. Like, okay, literally, what you doing? Like, literally, if this stuff you still haven't figured this out from the first time when you brought it out till now, and it's still happening?
Well, I just saw they just recalled the super truck. It's its 4th recall. The thing's only been out for about 12 minutes. And it's on its 4th recall. It still doesn't have the battery it was supposed to have. And I can't see I haven't seen anybody use it as a truck yet.
I think it's just super ugly.
And the Tesla cars are actually good-looking cars. But that truck, I don't
That truck is
get
just
it.
terrible. Like, why would you even?
Who sat there and saw the drawing of that and said, yeah, let's do that?
And the funny thing is, it's almost common sense because batteries emit gases. And it's not too bad with a car because you've got a small battery. But you throw in that huge ass battery in the Tesla.
Yeah.
It has a whole bunch of fumes coming off of it. You put it in your garage.
Yep.
You might as well put the exhaust in your window and get ready to die.
Yeah.
Well,
terrible.
and
terrible.
where are the tree huggers in this whole thing
Yeah.
that are saying, I'm going to drive this battery thing to lower my emissions? Do they
Right.
not understand that it's coal and natural gas powered plants that power the grid that
Right,
charge
those-
them?
yeah.
Exactly.
So and then how are you going to dispose of those batteries?
Exactly.
And then even with Tesla, you still have to find a station to charge it that supports Tesla. Like that's 'cause
You can't
have-
go across the
yeah.
state of Texas in a Tesla.
You can't.
No, there's isn't enough stops close enough together in order to do it.
See?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No,
I'm good. I'm good.
My prediction is hydrogen is going to be where it's at, because they use a hydrogen cell. It just plugs in, and you can run for a day, and it's running on water, and it's still a combustion engine. Yeah, hydrogen's where it's going to be.
I've got one problem with hydrogen, and that's
you can make a bomb out of it.
No, because it's water. Okay, we get enough people converted to hydrogen, and there are times when we have droughts, we have problems with water. Well, unfortunately, we have to have water to live.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I
think
drink
it's a
coffee
neat
all day,
idea.
so.
I think it's a great idea, but you know, when we start having water shortages because we're using the water for fuel, I mean, do I drink water and stay hydrated during the summer, or do I drive?
Do I put it in my car?
Well, figure out how to make salt water work.
You know what?
There's a little bit of that.
We'll figure it out. We always do, don't we?
Yeah, I guess.
For the most part.
Yeah. No, I want to.
Let's find.
I want to pump
for
gas
fuel.
in it. I want my 1970 Monte Carlo to just emit all kinds of bad gases.
That's all right.
I'm here to.
I'm gonna put gas in my car, and
if
as long
we
as
come
I
up
can
with
put
an
By the
gas in my
time the
car.
planet dies, I'm going to be gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we're going to come up with an alternate fuel, let's make it something we don't need to live. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
But you know, the government subsidizing ethanol is what put Pilgrim's Pride chicken out of business. Because as soon as the government started subsidizing corn for ethanol, that's what the chickens eat.
Yep.
And it drove the price of chickens up.
Yep. Well, they're subsidizing the electric cars more than they're subsidizing ethanol.
Yep.
You know, General Motors lost like $50,000 a car on every one of those volts that they made.
Yep.
And nobody wanted the damn thing.
No.
I know. Nobody wanted those things.
No.
Nobody.
But you
Stop
know,
making the shit because
Volkswagen,
don't nobody want to buy it.
Exactly.
Volkswagen has the right idea, but don't get me wrong, I wouldn't buy a Volkswagen either. But they have said, "Oh no, we're abandoning electric. Period.
Yeah.
We're not getting into that
Yeah.
mess."
Yeah. Well, somebody's making money on it.
Yep.
I'll tell you that much.
Because people
Elon
still buying
Musk.
that shit.
Yeah, Elon's
He's making money hand over fist.
dude's stock price went up when they voted his $56 billion pay package.
Yep.
$56 billion, and his stock went up because the company said, "Oh, we got to have him involved. He can't go make spaceships." It's always something, isn't it?
It's always something.
Well, this was a compelling and rich conversation.
It sure
a little
was.
disappointed that we left our clothes on. I thought this
I know,
was
right?
When you say clothing optional, I was all excited. That's how Ron got me on the show.
Oh, is that how you got it?
Yeah. But he just said follow my lead, and he's left his clothes on the show.
Oh, shit.
Okay, well,
Yeah, here we go.
nobody wants to see me naked, Dave.
Yeah, well,
Not even me.
but you don't see a red, white, and blue thong every day. You know, so I was excited.
But that's why I own 30 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, y'all heard it from here.
I know Larry Adams has one. Larry Adams
Did he send you a picture?
He has a Trump thong that says "Make America Great Again," and I know he's got that. He's got 30 of those for sure.
Oh.
But that's all right. That's Larry.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Dave, for being on the show.
Well, thanks for letting me come in and ruin it for you.
No,
it
we
was
love you. So
Good.
anytime we get a chance to sit down with you, it's always a
Just,
pleasure.
we admitted facts, and none of them were true, but the fact that are we still on?
We're still on.
The fact that they believe it is pretty funny. I mean, go buy Cubans when you're on a cruise.
Yeah, go ahead and get them.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get them. And then when you get them, cut them up and
But you got half of that right. Buy them, then post a picture on Facebook.
Yeah. Go on a cigar group and ask the question, real or fake?
Yeah.
And then watch
Watch-
how mean,
Right.
watch how mean the internet gets.
Yeah.
By the way, but there is actually a good place that you can go called Cigar Newbies,
Yeah.
a
Yep.
site that
Yes.
we created.
That's right.
We monitor that site, and it is for people that are there to get questions answered. They won't be ridiculed. We'll answer any question. It's a private group.
Yep.
The first person that comes on and goes, "You're an idiot for asking that question," we delete their
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
and we block them from everything.
That's right.
So
because
it's a safe place to go in and ask
Yep.
questions, do that stuff. Join Cigar Newbies.
Yep.
Say you heard it on Tales of the Lounge. We'll let you in.
Yeah, because a lot of people are scared to ask a question because they're afraid that someone's going to come on and say, "Are you stupid? What? You don't know this? Blah 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 blah." And so they're afraid to ask a simple question. So that particular page is great to just voice your, ask the question and get a great, honest answer.
The number one question is, how do I taste notes in a cigar? The answer is, don't worry about it.
Yes.
For years, our mom slid food in front of us,
Yeah.
and we took a bite. We either liked it or we didn't.
That's
Yep.
it.
So if you smoke a cigar and it pushes all your buttons and it's good,
Smoke
don't
it,
worry
that's
about
right.
if it's got roasted marshmallows and tree sap and all this other stuff. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No,
Just
it doesn't.
enjoy the cigar, and if you don't like it, I usually will give a cigar two chances.
Yeah.
But the cigars here, as you guys may have participated in our screening process, we test every cigar, and if it's not a unanimous thumbs up from
Yeah.
up to 18 people, we don't
It
put
doesn't
in.
come in, and that's how you
Yep.
know you've
That's
got
how
a
you-
great
And
cigar.
by the way, there's the last test that we did, 76 cigars we tested
Yeah, no.
over 2 nights, and the only thing that made it was was a smoking jacket from Henry Keller Jr. That was the
Oh,
only cigar
wow.
that made it.
Really.
That was the only one that got unanimous thumbs up. Yeah,
Wow.
there you go.
Well, I'll
So,
be
sorry.
the first. I'll be the first to admit my palate is not that developed. I don't taste the marshmallow, but I do have a flavor wheel, and occasionally I'll pull a flavor wheel out.
Yeah. And that's
and
also good to
take a
have.
look at it and go, what am I tasting out of this thing? But especially if I get a hint of something and just can't place it.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing,
Yeah.
and I've told Susie this before.
Yeah.
Trust what you taste,
Yes.
because I always use the orange analogy. If somebody gave you an orange your entire life and you ate it, but didn't tell you what it was, you would know the taste of the orange. But until somebody says that's an orange, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't connect it. So when you taste something in a cigar, and there are cigars like Byron has cigars that there's like a blueberry note that comes out of it that's very apparent. Just trust it.
Just trust
Yep.
it.
Some people will say it tastes like cedar. Some will taste like oak. It tastes like there's these different notes, espresso and things.
Yeah.
Just if that's what you get, that's what you get.
That's what you get.
Yeah. So
And don't worry about.
don't overthink it.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
overthink
And
it.
that's the
Yeah.
problem. People overthink the damn cigar, and so now they're all confused. And like, okay, I'm tasting this, I'm tasting that, I'm tasting this, I'm tasting that. You overthought that. Just enjoy it. It's
Enjoy
meant
the
to be
cigar.
enjoyed.
Yes, but
It's meant to
remember
be
the number
enjoyed.
one rule: friends don't let friends smoke Gurkha.
Yeah, yeah. The other one is life's too short to smoke shitty cigars. So
That's
just
right.
smoke good cigars.
That's right.
Don't waste your time. You're going to give up an hour of your time. Just enjoy the cigar.
Exactly.
This cigar is so enjoyable. I could smoke one after the other.
It's a great.
It's
a great snack.
as I call it, comfortable. It just doesn't. It lets you have the rest of your conversation,
It
and
does.
it's not taking your mind away. So
Exactly.
It does.
So I want to thank everybody who showed up. We finally had a few people show up. Catch Saturday at the Shop every Saturday, 10:15-ish,
right on the button,
Yeah.
almost never.
almost never. Catch Dave and Brandon. They are hilarious. And the evolution of that show has just been amazing.
Yeah.
From putting cell phones on tables and taped to walls and windows. And
Yeah, they don't. The very first episodes, we had the window,
Yeah.
and we would
Yeah.
we'd put sugar packets behind the phone to get the right angle, and then tape it to the window.
Yep.
And that's how we did the show.
Yep.
And
And we had like 6 phones up at one
at one point, yeah, it was pretty high tech.
Well, if
But now you guys got all this fancy
Yeah.
shit that never works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I generally don't have too many problems, but every
Shit.
once in a while, I'll run into a technical.
I'm
glitch.
listening to the person spouting the facts over here.
But
That's all right.
we
Good
had
show, stellar show.
Yep. And look for the Bad Words podcast. That should be starting back up
Yeah.
here shortly.
Yep.
That'll be on Tuesday nights.
We went some
Yeah.
big time stars on there, and so we're doing
So
some
if you
hunting.
so if you've got an in with somebody famous, hit up the guys and say, hey, I think I can get you XYZ. You know.
That's what we're looking for. We want to get some big names
Yeah.
and have a good
You're the
time.
biggest name I've had on since probably J-Mon.
Yeah, well,
You remember that show?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay,
my
y'all.
God. That was
Oh.
you guys were.
A shitty mess.
They were a mess.
They were a mess.
That was a train wreck. And if you do you still have that show up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Watch the first 5 minutes, then watch the last 5
Yep.
minutes.
Yeah.
You want to watch some guys that are in the "I love you, man" stage of the
I love you,
drunk-
man.
drunk.
I love
Oh,
you,
yeah.
man.
Jesus.
I love you, man.
Oh, it was terrible.
I had to send J-Mon home in an Uber. I had to talk to his wife about arranging an Uber. And then it took, it wasn't until the grand opening over there that I actually finally met her. And then once I realized who she was, I'm Ron. I'm the one who said, oh, you're Ron. And I mean, we just laughed our asses off.
I had him up in Nebraska this last week.
Yes, yes.
Because he launched his
Yes,
line at
yes.
Capital Cigars up there, and we had
That's
a great
exciting.
time. And I was able to expose him to this place called Southwest Pit Barbecue. It's in Lincoln. When I say fall off the bone,
They fall off the bone, huh?
the wings, you just pick them up and the bone would just fall out.
Oh, my
It was
gosh.
I got a rack of ribs and just pulled the bones out.
And you didn't bring none back.
Oh my God, Jamon, I tell you right now, that's the only thing he took away from that. We had a good time.
Yeah.
And he got a chance to meet Johnny Rogers, Heisman Trophy winner. He got a chance to meet some really good people up there, and we had a good time.
Cool. Thanks again,
That's it.
everybody. Catch us next week at our regular time. Hopefully we won't be 20 minutes late because of technical glitches. And thanks again.
And
Dave.
hopefully Ron will shave his bald head.
Ron, shave your head.
You don't like the.
We don't like that peach fuzz on top of your head.
That's exactly.
See, he gets a job, and now he's too busy.
Right.
I haven't shaved in 2 weeks, so.
We can tell.
Well, everybody's been kind of harassing me because like 2 weeks. Hell, that would be 3 days for me. I said, well, you know.
Well, we can tell you're looking kind of raggedy over there, but that's all right.
All right.
Drink your drink.
Just drink my drink.
That's it.
So I
Good
can
night.
go